All the AM News viewers, I'm still coming to you live from the Parliament buildings right here. If you can look around, actually, the President's office is right behind me, and of course, everything else. All right, a very good morning to you, Elvis, and of course all the AM News viewers. We're still coming to you live from the Parliament buildings right here out in the mother city. Now, if you look around, I'm actually standing by the house. The President's office is right behind me. If you can take a look there, and of course, if you take a look at the scenery around, the Table Mountain is also on my right. So it's quite a scenic view right here, and making it quite difficult, and very easy rather, to do my job. And now I have with me our second guest, of course, as promised, the Professor Mzikayise Binza, who is actually the Dean in the Faculty of Business at CPUT, to talk to us about the 20 years in democracy. Professor, a very good morning to you and welcome to AM News.
Good morning to you, Alicia, and the listeners of SABC.
Thank you. Now, Professor, 20 years of democratic parliament. Let's start with what has really been our biggest milestones. Let's gloat here, Professor.
Well, we have a number of these milestones. We can break them into themes, politically, socially, economically, and narrow down to the issues of service delivery. I think the country, most of the people of the Republic, they know where we're from. We're from the apartheid, where we used to have this and that for those people and this and that for those people. So where there was no reconciliation, where people were deprived of their own rights, where there was absence of human dignity. Then democracy in 1994 gave us freedom. Hence we talk about democratic government now. And then in that freedom we had elections. This is the fourth elections where people can choose to vote for whatever party they want to vote for, and they can even assemble anywhere in the country as long as it's legally to actually assemble and to exercise their own political freedom. And through that, we've seen South Africa actually sharing that kind of political freedom with other countries in Africa. We've seen the country leading in terms of the APRM review, African peer review mechanisms, where the government of the Republic, with its own people, are saying, let us actually focus more on the issues of governance. Through governance and liberty, then you can find a better service delivery, better economy, and better people's future. And we can also, from there, and then we had what we call the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, where those people who were oppressed and had a number of our own African people who were oppressed came forward and apologized, and there were issues debated. Yes, we know that there are still wounds left behind, and some people didn't go and actually apologize. But we've seen the Mandela Magic Mandela was our first president, democratic president, using his charisma, his leadership, his divine kind of leadership, getting the country to be united and getting the country to move forward towards the globe. And we've seen South Africa being accepted to the G20, the group of 20, which is the richest countries in the world. And Mandela and former President Thabo Mbeki, led the country forward in terms of that kind of mission. As a result, a number of countries came to South Africa to invest. We've seen a number of countries increasing from the United States of America, Germany, we've seen Switzerland, we've seen Italy, France, and investing in South Africa. That is basically the kind of confidence that they have in our political freedom. And that political freedom has got spin-offs as far as the economy is concerned. The economy grew through the policy called the Reconstruction and Development Program, the RDP. Some people call it because of the kind of jobility that they have when they talk about the Mandela Magic and the country's democratic phase. They say it's a RDP of the soul. And through that particular document, we've seen a number of service delivery commitments, the houses being built. But from there, we had what we can call the gear policy, and then from the gear policy, we've got the new growth path. And basically, what gear did was, because when we took over, when there was democracy, the economy was basically on -1, which means we won't live for 2 or 3 years if the economy continues to be on -1. So the government had to decide what we must do. So they look at the macroeconomic strategy, which was GEAR, and through GEAR from 1996 up, then the economy grew. Now we talk about 2 to 3% on an annual basis. It's actually growing. Yes, we see the paradox there, that the economy is growing, but the poverty and unemployment is actually growing. So it's an issue that is broad in a sense, but it needs more attention. But I think, to me, because really investors are actually looking at, is the economy stable? Is the political environment stable? Yes. Through democracy, 20 years, we've got stability economically, we've got stability politically. And socially as well, we've seen a number of kind of events that united our country. We've seen President Mandela taking us to France, Germany, and then we won the World Cup. And we had stadiums, beautiful stadiums built, and then South Africans united. Watching sport, there was nothing that says this is a black man, this is a white man.
But Professor, have we done enough as a nation to move forward and unify as a nation after the 20 years of democracy? Have we bridged that gap of segregation completely?
From a broad point of view, yes. But from a narrow point of view, I think we still need to talk to a number of heads and souls to say, listen, leave the past. South Africa is a new nation. I mean, 20 years is just a short period, you know, Alicia and the listeners. Countries, they take up to 50 years to say we've now completely a united nation.
The famous saying that Rome was not built in one day. Yes. All right, so Professor, in ending our interview here, what is your message to the South African that is watching the State of the Nation address, knowing that remembering where we come from 20 years ago and what we've achieved now?
I think the State of the Nation address is going to give us hope. And democracy, to me and to many other people, is hope. So the message is hope. I think we need to stand united and celebrate what we have. And of course, I think we need to call the leadership to account on issues that they promise us that they will do and not do. And they must tell us why and when they will actually do those things. So I think, to me, is that we need to have a collective mind and collective action. That is a message that I can give to the country at this stage.
Beautiful indeed, Professor, to know that we have the democratic right to say how we feel. Thank you so much, Professor, for talking to us. That was, of course, Professor Binza talking to us about the 20 years of democracy, the milestones that we've hit, things like the World Cup that certainly put South Africa on the map. Well, we're going to take a very quick ad break, and after that, Elvis, it's back to you in studio. We're still out here in Cape Town. It's back to AM News.